Another great question that came in was, can you clarify for us the issue of whether all ETs are interdimensional, or are they, could there be the so-called grays that are actual real ETs in addition to the PLMs that are man-made, the program life forms, I think they meant, and made to look like the grays. So what this question is relating to is a bit of confusion. I'd refer folks to the paper I wrote, I believe it was in the mid-1990s, called ETs and the New Cosmology, and where it goes through this whole discussion of interstellar civilizations that can reach other star systems. Well, what that means, all those civilizations are by definition inter- or transdimensional. What do I mean by that? It means that if let's say you're from a star system 1,000 light years from Earth, which is 1% of the distance to the Milky Way galaxy, our own galaxy. If you're going to go from your star system to Earth, even at the speed of light, it'd take 1,000 years, and then 1,000 years to go back. Same thing for communication. It means that all civilizations that are interstellar are, by definition, interdimensional. They have to go beyond the crossing point of light, which I write about, and when you cross that light barrier, which is a phased event with electronic systems, it's all electronics, magnetic field propulsion, you're then going through other dimensions, and you're dropping out of linear space-time. So instead of going in a straight line from 1,000 light years from here to Earth, you're basically dropping out of linear space-time and therefore compressing the travel, quote, time and distance so that you can be here. Now, when you then step down, as it were, into linear space-time around Earth, you're going to come through what's called the crossing point of light back into 3D or 4D if you count time. So all ETs that are here that are interstellar are, and it's all of them, also interdimensional. Now, to make things a little more confusing, people have experiences with interdimensional beings that are not ET. And what am I talking about? You might have an experience with, say, an angelic being, or your dead grandfather, or some poltergeist phenomenon. Well, that's someone in the so-called astral field of energy that can, under certain conditions, press into linear space-time and knock a vase off a table, or touch you on the shoulder. Now, those are intelligent beings that are in another dimension, but they're not from another star system physical planet. So while all extraterrestrial interstellar travel capable civilizations are interdimensional, not all interdimensional beings are extraterrestrial. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this is really a very important point because there's so much confusion out there about this, because what happens, people will take an external phenomenon, and because the phenomenon is similar to a transdimensional ET, they'll confuse it with ET when it's actually something from another dimension altogether. So the reason I wrote that paper in 19, and I know nobody reads anymore, but being the professor here, people do need to read. So that paper is up there on our website, and it's in my first book. But it goes into some detail about this differentiation and the cosmology that involves space-time, interstellar travel, but also these other dimensions and how they're folded within each other, because that's how you reach discernment. Now, the questioner, I don't know who sent the question, was very correct in saying that then could it be that some of these so-called grays are real ETs and some may not be? Yes, because the intelligence community has been taking both the genetic material but also using stagecraft. In fact, this Air Force intelligence officer talked about taking guys who were some special forces, very small men, making them up to look like a gray, putting them on a man-made flying saucer with electronic warfare systems, and I know for a fact other chemicals and hallucinogens, and abducting people. And one example he gave was someone who was in an area of a classified facility where they saw something they shouldn't, and they sent this abduction squad out complete with man-made looking little grays. Now, to the casual person who knows nothing about these counterintelligence capabilities that have been in full development since the 40s and 50s, they would 100% be fooled that it was ET when it was 100% man-made. And this is the crux of the problem, is if we don't have discernment on this, they're going to be able to fool us. And it's sort of like The Who when they wrote, We Won't Be Fooled Again. And they wrote that after, we were fooled into Vietnam and all this stuff. Well, in fact, we have been fooled again. And we keep getting fooled. We were fooled on 9/11. We were fooled with the Iraq situation. And unfortunately, we're about to be fooled on the cosmic flag if we don't wake up and begin to learn what these capabilities are that are man-made that can simulate an ET event. And you have to remember 60 years and trillions of dollars of our funding have gone into this false flag capability. And so that's very, very important that everyone understand that.